Good evening. On the world news tonight, we won the election. We will prove it. Peter Obi vow. They have killed democracy in Nigeria. Ex-Senate President Adolphus Wabara. Concerning the election results, Tinubu will not be sworn in as president. Ezefe. Moving on to foreign, U.S. urges Inec to address concerns ahead of March 11 polls. And on sports, on the 20 AFCON, Uganda coach Mayanja wary of dangerous opponents, Flying Eagles. Now, the news in detail. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Peter Obi, the presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party for the 2023 election, on Thursday said his party won the 2023 election and will prove it. Information report that speaking at a World Press Conference in Abuja, the Labour Party candidate promised that his party will reclaim its mandate. We will explore all legal and peaceful options to reclaim our mandate. We won the election and we will prove it to Nigerians, Obi said. Julius Abure, the chairman of the Labour Party, Akin Oshutokun, the Director General DG of the Obi campaign, and other party supporters attended the conference. Obi's vow to explore all legal means to reclaim his mandate comes a day after his running mate, Deti Baba Ahmed, made similar pledge. This newspaper recalls that a press conference held at the party's national headquarters in Abuja on Wednesday. Baba Ahmed stated that Labour Party was determined to fight the injustice that dashed the hope of distraught Nigerians through all legal and peaceful means.
With deliberate manipulation of the rule of law and suppression of the will of the people. During my campaign process, I said that we will govern by the rule of law, because we know what not doing that will bring about. And that's why we insisted that. Let me reiterate. And I assure you that good people of Nigeria, that will explore all legal and peaceful action to reclaim our mandate. We won the election, and we will prove it to Nigerians. Oh, yeah.
Former Senate President Dr. Adolphus Wabara has expressed disappointment over the failure of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, to upload the result of last Saturday's elections, presidential and National Assembly election, directly from the polling units, contrary to its earlier assurances. Wabara, who addressed newsmen in Umuahia, dismissed the polls as a sham because of the way Inec handled it after the people had turned up massively to cast their ballots. The former Senate President, who is also the Chairman, Board of Trustee, BOT of the main opposition, People's Democratic Party, PDP, said the shameful conduct of Inec at the polls had subjected Nigerians to mockery before the international community. He called for the outright cancellation of the polls and the conduct of a fresh election if the unity and continued existence of the country mattered anything to those behind what he called the broad day rape and murder of Nigerian democracy. It's a sham. You can see from the International Observer how they condemned what we call election in the 21st century. So that thing has to be cancelled in the interest of Nigeria and the unity of the country. And to the next story. Former Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuemeka Ezefe, has said the President-elect Bola Tinubu would not be sworn in as Nigeria's president. Ezefe said this while accusing the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, of manipulating the electoral processes and rigging the presidential and National Assembly elections in favor of All Progressive Congress APC and its candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The former Anambra Eltman said it was obvious that Peter Obi of the Labour Party won the presidential election across the country. Chairman of Inec, Mahmoud Yakubu, in the early hours of Wednesday, declared that presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress (APC), Bola Tinubu, winning of the polls. Yakubu said Tinubu polled a total of 8,794,726 to defeat his closest rivals and candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who scored 6,984,520 and 6,106,533 respectively. Going on to the next story. Former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, has resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and also quit partisan politics. This comes a day after PDP lost the presidential election to the All Progressive Congress (APC). Fayose announced his resignation while appearing as a guest on Arise TV. He also revealed that the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar rejected the offer of one term in office to get the G5 governor support. Atiku lost the G5 governor state to APC candidate Bola Tinubu, who won 3, and Labour Party candidate Obi won 2 states. Announcing his resignation, Fayose said, "From today, I stay off PDP." Going on to the next story. There was confusion 2 weeks ago on the fate of members of the public who had the affected notes in their possession. While announcing the extension of the deadline for the circulation of the old note from January 31st to February 10, the Central Bank of Nigeria said it would continue to receive the old note between February 10 and 17 after they had ceased to be legal tender. However, when the affected notes were taken to the Apex Bank, some of the orders were turned back. Officials of the CBN told those with less than 500,000 naira to take such monies to their DMBs. But when they got to their banks, the banks refused to receive the note. In the midst of that confusion, the CBN issued a statement on February 21st, the 9 report that it had directed deposit money banks to receive old 500 naira, 1,000 naira note from their customers. According to Mr. Osita Nwanisoba, Wood retired as Director of Corporate Communications of the CBN last week. Media report that Apex Bank had given such a directive was fake. He clarified that only all 200 naira notes had been directed by President Muhammadu Buhari to be reissued, and that CBN would stick to that directive.
Institutions across the nation. I similarly consulted widely with representatives of the state governors as well as the Council of State. Above all, as an administration that respects the rule of law, I have also noted that the subject matter is before the courts of our land and some pronouncements had been made. To further ease the supply pressures, particularly to our citizens, I have given approval to the CBN that the old 200 naira banknote be released back into circulation, and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10th, 2023 to April 10th, 2023, when the old 200 naira note ceases to be legal tender. In line with Section 20.
Welcome back. Leadership of Coalition of Peter Obi Support Group, in collaboration with the Igbo Traders Association of Nigeria, have called on President Muhammadu Buhari and other relevant security agencies, Attorney General of the Federation, the United Nations, and other international communities to save Nigeria from looming danger of avoidable war, total collapse, anarchy, and disintegration over the outcome of last Saturday's presidential election. The coalition, in a petition signed by Mazi Knight Ogbonna, Pansin Dagiet, and Mazi Odumegu Ukaha, said the duo of Inec chairman Mahmoud Yakubu and the now declared president-elect Bola Tinubu have already set Nigeria on the path of danger through the declaration of results of the flawed election and daring Nigerians with an open threat of go to court. The coalition alleged that the scripts plans of Inec under Mahmoud Yakubu were laid to the floor at the National Results Coalition Hall following the refusal to heed to the call to cancel the coalition election when the commission couldn't defend or provide any convincible answers to any of the obvious crimes of duplicity and election malpractices allegedly committed in the process. Moving on to the next story. A group of protesters have stormed the Abia State headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission (Inec) in condemnation of last week's presidential and National Assembly polls. The youthful group, under the aegis of Coalition of Civil Society, arrived at the Inec facility with placards saying they are from different parts of Abia to register their displeasure over the alleged fraud by Inec officials during the poll. Led by Mr. Irombikasi Abraham, the Coalition of Civil Society accused Inec officials of not transmitting the results of last Saturday's elections electronically as earlier promised by the electoral umpire. The youth warned that the anomalies of February 25th must not be repeated on March 11th in Abia State or any other part of Abia State. They wondered why election results were not uploaded as they were cast, but warned Inec to redeem its battered image on March 11th through credible conduct. From that story, go to Ogun State. Operatives of the Soul Safe Corps have arrested 32-year-old Emmanuel Victor, a gardener at one of the private universities in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, for alleged courtesan and being in possession of ammunition. The suspect was reportedly arrested alongside 4 other accomplices. They were said to be terrorizing a place called Randa and other parts of the Abeokuta North local government area of the state. The Soul Safe State Commander, Soji Gonzalo, in a statement on Thursday said the officers on duty at the Obasanjo Hilltop, Okemoso, Abeokuta, had arrested the private university gardener during a stop and search operation. Going on to the foreign story. The U.S. has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to address technical issues reportedly associated with the use of the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System (BVAS) before the governorship and state assembly elections on March 11th. Ned Priest, spokesperson for the State Department, in a statement said Nigerians were clearly within their rights to have such concerns and should have high expectations for their electoral processes in the recently just concluded presidential poll. We join other international observers in urging Inec to improve in the areas that need the most attention ahead of the March 11th polls. We understand that many Nigerians and some of the parties have expressed frustration about the manner in which the process was conducted. They have also expressed frustration about the forthcoming of technical elements that were used for the first time in the presidential election cycle, he said. Price, however, advised the aggrieved presidential candidate to use all legal means to correct the anomaly. Going on, last story on sport. Uganda head coach Jackson Mayanja has labeled the Flying Eagles of Nigeria a good team ahead of their quarter-final clash at the 2023 Under-20 African Nations Cup. The Hippo and the Flying Eagles will clash at the Suez Canal Stadium, Ismailia, today, Thursday. The Flying Eagles started the competition on a disappointing note, going down 1-0 to defeat of Senegal's side. Ladamboso's side, however, recovered from the outbreak and setback, defeating the host Egypt and Mozambique in their next 2 games. Mayanja reckoned that he is aware of the threat posed by the 7-time champions. Nigeria is a good team. It's going to be a very hard game, but I think, like I said, the achievement we need is tomorrow. That is what we want to achieve. I don't want to talk about Nigeria. The game is to be played on the pitch today. That's end the world news this hour. Before we go, some major headlines. We won the election. We will prove it. Peter Obi vows. They have killed democracy in Nigeria, ex-Senate President Dr. Adolphus Wabara. We also brought to you, Tinubu will not be sworn in as President Ezeife. We also brought to you, Fayose dumps PDP after Tinubu's victory, claims Atiku rejected one-term offer. Finally, on sport, Uganda coach Mayanja wary of dangerous flying eagles. The match is ongoing according to Nigerian time. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.